Hi, I'm Trevor, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the two different gearboxes in your Palm Beach shutters with PowerView. Now if you don't remember how to disassemble these panels, please refer back to the first video in this series. When we go looking for the rack assembly, we're always going to find it closest to the programming button or always where we have a coupler. So let's get started here. We've got one rack disassembled. We're going to take this one apart just so you can see how it comes out. We're going to need to remove all of the assembly screws from our panel. So what this is going to mean now is that we're going to pull this apart and all the louvers are going to become disconnected. That's okay. We're going to have to sort through all this later on. We can always determine the orientation of the louver. The longest side of the louver end cap will always insert into the rack. Take our clutch out and we should just be able to slide our rack assembly out just like this. So and when we take a look at the rack here, there's only two different types of gearboxes. We have the main gearbox, or the motor gearbox, which is black. And we have our traditional standard gearboxes that are always white. We get ourselves a flat blade screwdriver. We're going to get our screwdriver underneath the tilt rod assembly. And we simply are going to pry it out. We'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. As soon as we get under it, now we can take our gearbox assembly completely out. So if you take a look here, the way the tilt rod is drilled, this tilt rod can only go in one place in the gearbox. So it's pretty impossible to get it messed up. So let's pull it over the top here. Let's kind of get them both lined up as best we can. Find our mark and we just push down. Bingo. We check the rack to make sure that it's working properly. Looks like everything's still in sync, and we've now just replaced the motor gearbox on a Palm Beach with PowerView. So our process is exactly the same if we want to replace a motor gearbox or a standard gearbox. The first thing we have to do is we notice we have this Duron block in the end. That's going to stay there. All right, we're going to need that when we go to reinstall our side rails. So we have two sides to this rack, a flat side and then a side that has like an extension. If you take a look here, you see the two marks that are made, these two green marks. That denotes the top of this rack. We'll slide the rack in. You kind of have to wiggle it a little bit sometimes to get it in there. Now that we've got it in about right, we're going to find this is actually like the motor gearbox tool that keeps our motor in place. We're actually going to use this, and we're going to use it to slide our gearbox into place. Now we can get closer to the reassembly. We'll insert our clutch. And here's the difficult part, and that is keeping all your louvers in place. So we'll insert these in one by one. We want to make sure that we have a set of louvers that are below our top rail and a set of louvers that are above our bottom rail. That way we know that we have them oriented in here correctly. Bring our style over, and we're just gonna ever so slightly just get each one of these as close as possible. Turn it on its side, and I'm gonna keep pressure on this panel so that when I pull it up, hopefully none of the louvers fall out. So we're doing pretty good so far. Now what we have to do is start turning these louvers and find the spot where they're going to engage the rack assembly. There we go. So we know that our louvers, you see when I did that, it kind of dropped down a little bit. That means we're getting closer with our alignment. Somewhere in this neighborhood. We've got our louvers back in alignment. We can kind of see this here. We want to close them. We want to do our best to really hold this panel together well. Set it on its side so that none of the louvers fall out. And now we're going to begin putting our assembly screws back in. We need to make sure that our Duron block comes out the top and we get it flush. We'll put our screws through here. So now our panel can't come apart anymore, so we'll put the last screws in here. And that's how you replace the two different gearboxes in your Palm Beach shutters with PowerView.